Hi, today I'm going to talk about a topic that's, I think kind of annoying for a lot of people, but I think it's still relevant. So people often ask me how much German they actually need to know to find a job in Germany. And this is what I want to clarify today. But before I do so, make sure that you hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel, turn on the notifications. There are a lot of great other videos about careers and life and paperwork to watch on this channel. So make sure to take a look at them after watching this video, of course. So let's talk about this topic of German language. If you have watched any of my other videos where I talk about applying for jobs here, I'm sure you have already heard this several times, that I always say, if you learn German, it'll make your life easier, right? And that's something I still want to, just kind of highlight. I'm still very convinced of that, and I do see that on a daily basis, because to make a life in Germany, to get around Germany, you need German language skills, because everything's still handled in German. It's probably a bit different if you live in the city center of Berlin, although there are several city centers here. But if you live in the center of Berlin, it's probably easier for you because there are a lot of persons who speak English only. But if you interact with authorities here, when you sign contracts and so on, you will still need German language. That's the first thing to know. Also, if you want to make friends, I think it makes a lot of sense to learn German, right? That's very important to, just to integrate here, to understand everything around you. It's just helpful. But let's talk about the job search. That's probably what you're wondering about most, right? So very often people come and say, I have a friend who found a job without speaking any German. I think everyone has heard of this story, where the other guy found a job without speaking any German. And let me tell you, yes, that happens. I have seen it, but it really depends on your profession. And in general, you will have a higher chance of finding a job if you speak more German. So there are certain professions like software development, for instance, where you can find a job easily with very little German skills. And I've also seen people being hired with, I would say no German skills. It also always depends on the visa prerequisites, by the way. So check out our videos on these topics. That's also just important to know, right? Always do a visa quick check before you decide on the actual level that you need. But that's the first thing to know. So in software development, it's easy with little German language skills, but still, the more you know, the easier it is. And then you have options, right? And I think that's also important. When you look for a job, it's also important to find the right job for you, to find a job that comes with a good salary, that is offered by a decent employer, right? Not just any job here in Germany. So that's the first thing. So software development, okay, you can start with a lower language level. If you're an engineer, or if you work in healthcare, for instance, these two professions, these are also shortage professions in Germany. So professions where we have a high demand. In these two professions, you need a higher level of German. So I think for healthcare professions, it also depends a bit on the actual profession, but you have to go through separate exams for your language skills, where you need the particular terminology that's used in your daily work. And for that, I think it's C1 and higher, if I'm not mistaken. For engineering professions, it also depends a bit on your job. But usually we say that you need minimum B1, because engineering is still one of these professions where, you have, for instance, the corporates or the medium-sized businesses have a high demand, and it's still a very German-spoken environment. So people still speak German. Your colleagues will probably still speak German unless you work for a startup somewhere. So in order to find a job as an engineer, it's really good to have proper German skills. Same goes for a lot of other professions. So I've just covered the shortage professions here. And finance, for instance, unless you work for a startup in Berlin, you will need advanced German language skills. So I always recommend to try and aim for B1 minimum. And I will link a great video up here where I talk about applying for jobs, also applying for jobs in German. That's, I think, a big step that will increase your chances of landing a job here. So what you always have to keep in mind is that, of course, you can start your job search with limited German language skills. I know that it's also a big time investment to learn German, right? And it also costs money. So you can start your job search at an earlier stage. But when you only apply for English jobs, you will see that you are also competing with a lot of other persons who also speak only English. And if you look at the German job market, we do have a shortage, as I said, in healthcare, in IT, in engineering. But if you only apply for English jobs, you will still have a lot of competition. Maybe not in software development, because we just have a big lack there and it's more English speaking. But in the other professions, you will still compete with a lot of candidates. The minute you speak German, the minute you can write a German application, even if you just have, you know, rough German language skills, not the best German language skills, you will have less competition and more choice, a higher chance of finding a job. So I hope this gives you a rough understanding. If there's something more particular you would like to know about it, if you would like me to provide more details on this, maybe do another video, then leave me your comment. And also, if you've already found a job here, let us know what kind of language level you had when you found your first job in Germany. I think that would be a good reference for everyone else who's watching these videos and who's looking for a job right now here in Germany. So all the best for your job search and for starting a life here. And yeah, make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well and check out our other videos. And yeah, all the best. See you soon.